With Dove out of the picture, it looks like Zoro won, and Dove walk away, leaving everything behind and moving on to something new, while Moonlight, her friend, taking over the account that she originally owned. But the reality is that Zoro was a ticking time bomb in the group. Most of the people from Group A and Group B eventually start fighting each other or went on their separate ways. This included players like Osama, Johnny Bravo, Shakira, Soja, Rennet Meyer, Jojo Zoro, W-Him, Easter God, Kid Cudi, Dracula, Thinking Demon, Bougie, I'm Not Gay, and Gay Braz. Let's take a moment to look at Thinking Demon King and his Black Pill ideology. First and foremost, I look it up on Google and it claims that Black Pill is a subgroup of Red Pill. Honestly, Google is simply wrong here. I won't go as deep as I would like to for the sake of time, but to keep it short, Thinking Demon King seems to believe that women owe him sex simply because they are women. The reality is that the version of the Black Pill this troll is painted is a total lie. In the real world, to be successful, you need to be somebody with a stable job, a car, personal responsibility. The Red Pill is different at its core. Not necessarily in Thinking Demon King twisted view, it suggested that men and women are fundamentally different. I agree that men and women have differences, but Thinking Demon King argument takes it to extreme where he view women as lesser than human beings. But instead of keeping his views to himself, he went on HH and started ranting against women, created rumors and spreading negativity. Eventually he came in contact with Zoro, and later started a huge conflict with Shakira over gender issues. The argument got so bad that Thinking Demon King ended up leaking Shakisha's family phone number. In my video, the number will be covered, black ink, but I'm showing it as an example of how dangerous being around these trolls groups can be. However, Shakisha wasn't completely innocent either. She started gaining popularity among trolls by saying controversial things. The kind of stuff you heard old heads in the family talking about at Thanksgiving or Christmas Eve. You know, like your uncles or your aunties saying, listen son, this generation is sinful. I saw a gay couple kissing on TV on New Year again. This generation is going to hell. Yeah, okay auntie. As for Shakira, she become well known for being hateful against this particular community, saying things like, you chose to be gay, but you don't chose to be black. You chose to act upon your evil sexuality. These are her opinions. Even in a college debate, things can get hectic like that. In my opinion, I disagree with the LGBT community, and that's fine. However, I don't agree with her behavior. The fact that Shakisha was constantly getting banned and coming back with multiple alt accounts shows that she's much like Zoro, is addicted to the dopamine rush of being a troll. A lot of people claim she's racist too, but I'm not 100% sure about that. There might be screenshots out there, but I haven't personally seen them. Regardless, she ignored the doxing and continued her rampage. While she was doing all that, I actually caught up with her and talked to her back in 2020. Here is the screenshot from a Google Drive to prove this was taken years ago. This screenshot shows when she gave me her IG to show her off her art commission. Her name is there is Stargirl art. Her work was actually really nice. At least this troll was doing something productive with her life. Anyway, Shakisha, a young Hispanic woman, is a prime example of how someone can lead a double life online. This was the last time I saw her on HH. She told me she wanted to stay away from online toxic environment. I told her that she has been a part of the online toxic environment. Since then, she seems to have moved on from the online game. Looking back at that timeline, there's a bit more info on Johnny Bravo. He was relatively unknown, but still hang out with Zoro and Osama before their friendship ended over those specific girl rumors. Back in 2020, he was saying much other than using slurs, and he claimed he won the Matrix. However, by 2021, Johnny Bravo became more prominent through his association with Kid Cudi, Pale Hill, and 3i Alex. Then there's Osama, an online extremist who frequently claims to support ISIS. He openly brags about watching violent propaganda videos, and some community member at that time allegedly that Osama operate a second account named Bang Bro to post similar content mocking 9/11. However, there is no definitive proof that Bang Bro was his alt account. Logistically, it wouldn't make much sense for both accounts to be exposed at the same time or be online, unless he was using multiple devices. Regardless, Osama's behavior was a prime example of jihadist online radicalism. But during this same period, Osama and Soja turned on each other. Soja was a deeply disturbing figure known for sharing CP and having some fetishes involving in extreme graphic content, according to a Discord message from Grava. Please take a look. Yeah, I don't think Soja is a pedo, even though she jokes about it. I couldn't take her seriously, but Jay always sends videos of women with animals doing disturbing actions, including horses. I won't know where she get this stuff. She would even show her underwear covered in blood. I have talked to her and her friends, and they seem to have a weird obsession over animalistic content. She frequently told people to take their own lives in graphic details. Based on community reports and confirmation from an ex-veteran troll, there is 99% chance these allegations are true. The conflict peaked when Soja began fighting with Johnny Bravo. The community claimed Soja was catfishing other trolls, including Osama. When Johnny Bravo called her out, Soja went to extreme lengths to try to dox them both. Fortunately, she failed and was ultimately banned from Hotel Highway. Dracula wasn't the type of person to get involved in drama. For a long time, he tried to distance himself from the noise and from Zoro friend group altogether, likely as a way of protecting his reputation. However, that didn't last long. There is one thing trolls can never seem to distance themselves from, and that is their own disturbing behavior, especially the weird sexual fetishes shared by trolls like Osama, 3UI, Meyer, and others. In 2020, Dracula, who was a 20-year-old at that time, found himself at the center of a massive controversy after flirting with an 11-year-old girl. It's shameful, but to understand this individual and his ties to this circle of trolls, we have to look at the evidence. First, let's look at his bio. It reads, "I want was to suck your blood, 18+. I think what he meant, wanted, instead of vet. It's definitely strange, but let's move on past the bio and look at the chat logs. On the bottom left, because that's where things get truly disturbing. An unknown user asks him, "You like undeveloped child bodies?" Dracula simply respond, "This is hell." Then he follow up with, "Shame on me." The user replied back, basically pointing out that he isn't even denying the accusations. Then in the bottom right chat, the user states, "No, I have all the screenshots. Did you flirt with her? Yes or no?" They continue, "You flirt with an 11-year-old and try to justify it?" Dracula's response was, "She came to my room and we flirted like I do with everyone I meet, and she happened to be 11, I guess." There is a lot to impact here. First off, the fact that there are 11 years old on Hotel Highway at all is ridiculous. But more importantly, what is wrong with this dude? His behavior actually explains a lot when you realize he was friends with Smoothie, another troll who would surface in 2021. But furthermore, before he was banned, Dracula was very close with Bougie, a rich better troll. Not much is known about her other than a pessimist rumor that she actually doxed Dracula in the past, yet they somehow ended up becoming friends afterwards. Their beef was random, leaving us with almost no details or insight into what they were fighting about. We do have rumors that Dracula was involved with the Madhouse, but for now, we will treat that as a ghost story. Then there are the ones who simply vanish. The NW him, also known as Easter God, is a mystery, much like the fates of I'm Not Gay and Gay Braz. Then we have Jojo Zoro. He always claimed to be the real Zoro, although he could never actually prove it. He disappeared after a brief ban, only to resurface in 2024 under the name Stanhill. I actually had the chance to speak to him recently in late 2024. He told me he had found Christ and was finally trying to do better for himself. It's a strange, quiet end for someone who spends so much time in chaos of the troll world. I will share more about that conversation in part 2, but back in the origin timeline, JoJo was just another banned account completely. Meyer is a female who had a troubled past involving in gender crisis. For now, I'm only going to talk about a few moments from 2020 because back then, she wasn't really well known. Meyer is the best example of someone who refuses to change. Unlike the other trolls we have covered, some of them actually move on. I'm serious. One joined the army, a few got real jobs, and some even got married. But Meyer, she still stuck in the past. She's very bold and proud about her stupid online behavior. She even brags that she can get away with things like making fake doxing posts about herself and telling all kinds of lies. Meyer thinks she can escape consequences. Well, the world doesn't work like that. We simply reap what we sow. Not everything about this troll will be covered in part 1, but Meyer will become more important in part 2. In the community, players knew her, JJ, Ben, and Zoro on HH were asked if they there were any slight chance that Reddit was Meyer. Here's the response. Please take a look at the screenshot. But yeah, broski, sure, I will try to remember what I said. So at that time, I was very close friends with Delta, and A$AP Freddy was the alt account of Kid Cudi, not the rapper. But anyway, Kid Cudi was close to Zoro, always into Nazism of the white race / Aryan stuff. Yeah bro, as for Reddit, she was close to both of them as well. Reddit always was afraid to get her main account banned. I didn't know that Meyer was a woman until you talked to her on VC, but broski, Meyer was racist and has always had a hatred towards other players. I simply pressed Ben, who was Delta. How did she came into the story? Here's his response. Please take a look. You're reading it the wrong way. Meyer at that time goes by Reddit. From this screenshot over here, it shows that Reddit was talking to Delta already. Delta and Moonlight are the ones that sent the screenshot to Dove, and she posted on Sydney/Dove exposed page. Let's dive down into the screenshots that he was showing. Meyer, have some respect for your master, slut with belt. This is coming from a grown woman. It's obviously shameful and despicable. Like, what the hell is even this? But moving on to Dove fan base that were saying that this was Delta, said okay and commit mass murder. Reddit Meyer responded back, that's my sweet little girl. And yeah, I'm not going to lie, it's just going to get even better in the public chat. A Reddit Meyer said, thank God you're a minor, wow, you're so hot. In the public chat, noted. Going back to the post on Dove page, read this is really late, but I think this should be known. Today someone sent me an SS of Reddit, a 19-year-old sexually talking to a 15-year-old. I have been told he done this to multiple girls, so if anyone is comfortable with sharing any SS of inappropriate encounter with him. A Reddit Meyer, scared of being caught by HH, constantly changed her name from Reddit Meyer to Gaslight. The one thing I want to point out to my viewers is this. Anyone who knew Meyer or was friends with her thought that she was a male. It wasn't just because she used a male account. No, it was because of the things she said online. Even I was surprised. Please watch the video where I asked about the e-sex roleplay. Here is her response. Right, you were saying that, wait, give me a second. You were saying that you have some respect for your master, slut? Oh, whip. Roleplay.
It was me. Like, why is that any of your business? Like, why are you getting your Jew nose into business like that?
Oh, Jew nose, right? Okay. Anyway, when I first talked to Meyer with 3UI, the first time I heard her actual voice, I was shocked because she sounded like a woman. By the end of this video, all of you guys would understand why everyone thought that Meyer was a guy, simply because the things she said online doesn't add up. I'll talk more about her gender crisis in part 2, which is coming up very soon. Going back on the timeline, Reddit Meyer had some nasty sexual fetishes. I'm glad this screenshot was caught by Dove team. There are multiple cases like this online, even on her main account, where she pretended to be a 50-year-old man and said things like this. Meyer would beg pixelated girls to show their underwear. This behavior is evil and it's nasty. Here is a witness, a statement from a case like that, Pale Hill, claiming that Meyer tried to convince her to play husband and wife roleplay and more. Please take a look at the screenshot. I met Reddit in 2020 and knew that Reddit was a woman even though she was pretending to be a guy. I was okay with that because I identify as a lesbian for a long time. For a while, I was okay with the inappropriate messages, like there were sexual texts, but what made me uncomfortable was when she asked me to roleplay as husband and wife. I found that very inappropriate, but I went along with it. I eventually broke up with Reddit after I saw her in a public room, saying very hurtful words, including calling for women from Europe and America to be assaulted. She had also been sexual and inappropriate with me from the beginning, and even threatening to hurt me by leaking our private text message, which included sexual conversations and could expose our relationship. It's sad that young girls have to go through this because of Meyer. I feel bad for them. This is exactly why people need to be careful who they become friends with online. Anyway, Meyer has a deep sexual fetishes that she can't control, and it's sick and very disturbing. Now let's move on to the next screenshot from 3UI. surprising. 3i and her troll friends tried to expose Meyer, and they succeeded in showing her sexual fetishes. I know some people would hate me for using 3i screenshots. She's honestly a big liar and a troll herself. But the one bit of credibility I would give her is that 3i is willing to throw her own friends under the bus if they do things like this. It's very contradictory though, because 3i does the same kind of things too. Still, my question is, why would 3i expose Meyer of all people? I mean, they seem to get along. They're very close together. But anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's analyze these screenshots because it's really important to understand this troll behavior. The first screenshot, Meyer asking girls to send their used bloody menstruation pads. I have no comment. This is really nasty and disgusting. Now, let's look at the second screenshot. Is outrageous, saying that a 12-year-old girl is ripe for sexual intercourse while calling a 20-year-old old is completely crazy, but that seems to be part of Meyer beliefs. She also claimed to be a Muslim. Look, there are still people who hold on to these beliefs, especially in some backwater society in the Middle East and parts of North Africa. In those places, underage marriage is still common. Fathers sometimes force their young daughters into marriage, whether the girl wants it or not. If she refuses, she will get killed. That kind of thinking is barbaric and uncivilized. The real reason I brought up Islam is because during a VC with Meyer and my bro, Meyer herself started talking about Islam to switch the topic. It kind of worked, but it didn't go as well as she hoped. Please take a look at the video. Oh, yes, I could.
Let her finish. Let her finish.
Oh, go ahead.
I think I know more about Islamic theology than you do. Okay, listen.
Okay, so first of all, why are they killing each other? Can you explain the Sunnis and Shia? Why are they doing that in Syria? Can you explain? All the whites, not just all the whites, Jews. If you're educated than me, can you answer that question?
I'm talking about things from a pure
ideological perspective. What faction of Islam? Hold on. What faction of Islam? Sunni and Shia. Which one do you follow?
Listen, hey, you just blocked your mouth for about like 15 minutes, please.
Okay. No. You have no right to talk about this because you're simply uneducated. So you either gotta shut. If you no. If she answered this question, why are Sunni factions killing Jews and all the whites? I would appreciate it. But if you can't answer that question, since I'm smarter than you and you're not, answer that question simply. If you can't, bro, this is me being honest, because I'm well educated in her. If she can't answer that question, then I don't care what you say.
Oh no.
No,
I had to. Because man, she's an idiot, man.
I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to listen to what she has to say. Because
Wait, my perspective is in line with the Quran and the
Sunnah. Are you Sunni or Shiite? Are you Sunni and Shiite? That's my question. Are you Quranists?
No, they're kafir. They're disbelievers.
All right, exactly. So which branch are you? Are you Sunni and Shiite? That's my question.
So listen, wait, stop.
Can
I please explain?
So fucking stupid. Are you Sunni and Shiite? This is my question. There's multiple branches of Islam. Pick one. Are you Sunni and Shiite? You said that last time you were Salafid, and Salafid is under Sunni. So and bro, please answer my question.
Yes, affirmative. I am Salafi.
All right, good. And that's part of Sunni, right? Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, exactly. So why are Sunni people that are out there in Syria, since the Arabs take over the Alawites, why are they killing Alawites?
Do you want me to give you an answer based on the actual religious teachings or from whatever's happening?
Go ahead.
My conversation, I'm not too well versed on geopolitical stuff, right? It's hard for me to figure out, okay, there's a lot of stuff to consider when it comes to geopolitics. So I wouldn't say I'm a professional, of course, because I'm still a beginner, but my specialty is what the Islamic teachings actually are. I spend time studying this, and I get mad at Muslims for not studying the religion because you have to join. We don't ally with the deviants, even if they're Muslims. We don't ally with them. We don't ally with the Muslims in Iran, the Shia. We don't ally with the ISIS or Al Qaeda, and we don't even listen to their Quran recitation because We believe that a deviant Muslim is more dangerous to the Muslims than the Jews and the Christians, for example. Why? Because the deviants, their deviancy is hidden. All right, if you see a Jew or a Christian, okay, the misguidance is clear. Okay, but when it comes to someone calling themselves a Muslim, their misguidance is more hidden because they fall under the labels of Muslim. So we don't sit with them. We don't listen to the Quran recitation even. There's a of a deviant person because that can influence you. So that we take these things so serious. And what do we see, unfortunately, in Morocco or Egypt or Syria, all these other places?
Okay. So
wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Most of them are deviant.
Go ahead. Okay, so would you call Syria? Syria right now. Would you call Syria deviant?
Probably. I don't know like I said, I'm not too well versed in geopolitics.
Look, yeah, exactly. That's why you're not smart. So, Muhammad. So, he is a Sunni Muslim, and he is part of the Salafi Jihad, led by hardline Sunni.
Doubt that.
What do you say? Bro, it's on Google. Look it up.
So,
yeah. So of course. So
we'll take a look at what's his name again.
Just type in his name. Hey, hold on. Type in his name. I'm gonna type it for you, actually.
Okay.
All right. And I want you to look it up on Google and say which branch of Islam is he from.
I can look at a man and tell why, because of his beard.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because he's a Muslim.
A Salafi man trims the beard and trims the mustache and doesn't touch the beard.
All right, tell me. All right, look it up. What branch of Islam is he?
A lot of people call themselves Salafi, but they're not.
Bro. Going back to what I said in the video, Meyer seemed to like basic awareness. Whether she learns about Islam from random videos that cherry pick the positive parts, is still ignorant. It's similar to the leftists who support the people in Gaza. But if one of them actually went there, or anywhere in the Middle East, they would simply be killed because that's the reality in those places. As for Meyer, she is walking into the same death trap. Salafi Islam is the strictest form of Islam. Like ISIS, Boko Haram, Osama bin Laden, the founder of a Salafist jihadist group, Al-Qaeda, El-Shabaab, and so on. As I said before, when I asked about what's happening in Syria, the rise of the Salafi terrorism, these savages killing Alawites, Jews, and Christians, where the Alawites had managed to somewhat civilize the Syrian Arabs. Meyer had no idea what she was talking about. She just simply replied, "None of these are the true followers, quote unquote. That is a joke. These people are humans, scholars, and students within the religion itself, practicing the level of jihad that's going on in Syria and around the Middle East." But besides just that, Meyer confessed being a sexual abuser, which means that 3I and our friends were 100% right about Meyer engaging in predatory activities. Please watch the video.
Wait, do you want me to address the I'm a creepy, weird, whatever?
Yeah,
comments?
of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah, then we can.
Okay, so that screenshot right there. Okay, that screenshot that you see right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that specific screenshot is real. Yeah, I did say that as a joke. I was joking. My whole persona, right, is I was just an incel chud. No one wants me. No one wants me. I'm such an incel chud. I'm such a creepy. No one wants me, so I'm gonna be a creeper. I was joking. But my whole persona back then, and oh boy, I could probably invite one of my
So can you explain to me in your eyes where that humor lies in something that's comical to you? Where's that humor?
In that screenshot right there is the screenshot of I'm just a creepy weird man. Okay, so that's something that's real. I did say that. And I could bring in one of my friends right now who was close, and she would confirm the type of person I was.
I realized that Meyer always jump into every extreme ideology, as I pointed out in this video. At first, I thought she was trolling, but no, she's serious about what she says and what she believes. In this case, Meyer has what I called jihad love, a syndrome. This kind of thing is common seen in India and especially in Bangladesh. Oh my gosh, I'm literally butchering the name. Muslim men often court Hindu or Sikh girls trying to build a relationship. Once they married, Islam allow Muslim men to marry non-Muslim women, but a Muslim woman is not allowed to marry a non-Muslim man. It just only goes one way. But anyway, these Hindus and Sikh women often think the young Muslim men are nice and believe in they will be treated as equals, but that's not usually the case. Many of these men start beating their wives. When problems arise, the women sometimes can't even call out for help because the husband, Muslim family will always support his action. It has become so common in India and in Pakistan. It is the same for many Western women like Meyer and leftist females who live in a fairy tale, believing that all cultures and religions are equal. Meyer herself is currently in this phase. In her own words, she admits she has been living a horrible, sinful life. She claims she is now dancing to the tone of conservatism, and her conclusion is to join the extreme side of Islam, thinking it will solve all of her problems in life. Her mindset is delusional. Meyer dreamt of a life as a traditional housewife, staying home to take care of her own kids, but I honestly hope authorities would take any future kids away from her, because someone with her views and past cannot safely raise those kids, especially given her disturbing support for ideas that aligns with pedophilia. She seems to think this conservative lifestyle matches the Christian mindset, but it does not. It is a completely different culture with different religious laws. This is not something you can safely adapt just by watching cherry-pick videos on TikTok or YouTube. As I said before, those videos hid the dark reality. In the end, this is a form of jihad love. Sadly, many new converts discover the hard reality. For example, a 24-year-old Swiss woman married a Muslim man thinking it was love, but it quickly turned into control and cut off from the outside world, living in a fear inside our own home. But anyway, as for us, this isn't really our business. Religion is a personal thing. But the reason I'm sharing this is because if this troll can go on HH and other online platform openly supporting child marriage while trying to convince others to follow this lifestyle, then people like her are simply savages. People who live like this are usually in the third world nations where cousin marriage is common, especially across the Middle East, North Africa, and parts of the Islamic world. Someone like Meyer should live outside the West because this behavior is already influenced the way she speaks and acts online. Let's go to the other screenshot. Please take a look. This screenshot was taken from 3UI. I still don't know why 3UI would expose Meyer, but please remember this screenshot because this is a common behavior with Meyer. Anyway, let's talk about the screenshot. In the screenshot, Meyer says, yeah, maybe she would get R or something. She's weird, man. Meyer reply again, I hope HH shut down, just so people like her have nothing to fall back on. And they realize how detached from reality they are. This shows Meyer casually talking about wishing someone to get R'd, which fits the pattern we have been talking about Meyer behavior. Now let's go deep on why this behavior is common with Meyer online. Meyer does this all the time in public chats and debating rooms. She throw out shocking, violent, and sexual comments like it's nothing, like talking about our extreme fetishes or hunting people just to get a reaction. What a troll. We have already seen in other screenshots pressuring minors for sex roleplay, asking to suck menstruation blood, pretending to be a 50-year-old man in one of the debating rooms. Yeah, guys, this is literally a common thing with her behavior. Please take a look at the video.
Okay. And do you think God would have approved of the way you were living previous, where you mentioned all these accusations and mindsets and the lifestyle that you were living? Do you think God would have approved of that?
Oh, of course not, because, of course, first and foremost, I was upon disbelief. I was imitating the opposite gender. I was doing a bunch of other stuff that's, seeking fame, not being humble, doing things to elevate my status.
Later on, Meyer confessed that her own behavior was wrong. To be honest, it took me and my bro nearly 2 hours to explain to her why she was wrong. We talk again about her using the R word, as well her gender crisis phase, but we move forward. Now let's look at the screenshot. The screenshot was sent to me by Moonlight Sydney account. Let's examine the bio. It's kind of blurry on top, but it said, sorry, Reddit is gone. This indicates that Hospital Nomadas was indeed Reddit. If anyone look at how these trolls operate, once they get banned, they usually come back with either a very similar name to the ban account, or like Zoro accounts, they post things such as "Rip my brother" or "I'm back from the dead." They always talk in the third person, signaling that they're back. The same pattern we see with Meyer. Now going back to the screenshot, Hospital Nomadas Meyer made a statement by 2020. By 2020, all women will be hard and killed, as all women are useless, which is a ridiculous statement. But at the end of the day, Meyer remains an evil and mad lunatic on HH and other online platforms. Once this video is posted on my YouTube channel, Meyer will still not learn at all. Instead, she will be hyped that now she's famous. Yeah, what a clown. But anyway, the players she used sexually, along with friends who once knew her, were deeply hurt by what she did to them. It's sad, but there is hope for those of you who's watching this video. Please learn from this video. Zoro Group essentially collapsed one by one. Most of the trolls from 2020 were eventually banned by the game, or simply move on with their lives, becoming productive members of society. For example, in this video, there is one ex-troll from the list who now has a 3-year-old daughter. I'm proud of him. He showed me pictures and videos of his daughter on Discord, including her taking her first baby steps. It made me smile. It proved that there can be a better tomorrow for some of these trolls if they choose to change. However, while many move on, a few Zoro members keep getting banned, often because they started fighting each other or doxing one another. Eventually, they all give up on playing HH, Hotel Highway. Some ex-Zoro members hasn't changed at all. They remain stuck in their old behavior, chasing that a dopamine hit from hunting other players in the game. Only a handful of OG truly knew Zoro. Zoro's downfall wasn't caused by the fans or HH content creators or even the game staff. It came from within, his own friends, and the troll group. Zoro was doxxed, which lead to his fame fading away. Zoro was a troll who became very popular and terrorizing the game for a long time. His name is something every OG player in Hotel Highway still remember, but that full story will be explained in more detail in part 2 coming this spring, covering the brief conflict between JoJo, Kid Cudi, and Zoro. Going back to the timeline, the Hotel Highway community was already asking serious questions, like, why is there so much hate and racism within the game? Racist propaganda quickly spread, including along with doxing, leaking nudes, and degenerate behavior that had never been seen before in HH history starting appearing. E-sex role-playing spreading across rooms, creating hellscapes environment. Some rooms even feature Nazi symbols. Many of these rooms were made purely for rage bait, and unfortunately a lot of players fall into it. But thanks to Dove and other exposed page, many players finally become aware of what was really
going on in Hotel Highway.
A lot of content creators who aren't even online 24/7 were generally shocked. Many of us usually stay on Instagram to create posts and content. But when Dove and others start exposing the dark side of HH, many content creators become concerned. One name keep coming up again and again in those private chats I was a part of. Content creators constantly ask, who is Zoro and why does his name keep coming up on HH? Most of these content creators were shocked because building a legacy takes real effort and time. For example, I started making content back in 2020 when I was still in high school. At first, I post content, lores, trying to create new stories for HH, and then fans invited me to build websites for them, and I even joined in a couple of projects. But anyway, it took years of hard work to build a brand. Yet Zoro became more recognized than all of us. Not for any positive, but purely because of controversies and chaos. That's something most serious HH content creators are not willing to risk. We spend months or even years building our brand, while Zoro gained fame almost overnight. banning Zoro wasn't enough to stop him. The next very day, he simply returned under a new alternative account. It had gotten so bad that even the game developers at Sule Corporation, OY, started banning anyone whose username contained Zoro. Yet, somehow Zoro find a way to come back. His level of dedication was almost unbelievable. It just didn't make any sense. Zoro ended up changing the entire Hoto Highway framework in his own chaotic way, even though the game settings and rules were constantly being changed because of him. On April 14, 2020, Hoto Highway released a major update that introduced the loyalty system. In this system, players can earn loyalty points by variable activities around Hoto Highway, such as chatting with other players, spinning, the Tailor of Fortune, purchase offers, and joining events. These points can be then redeemed for exclusive items, extra points, tokens, and other bonuses. Many players found that staying active every day, especially spinning and socializing, was the fastest way to rank up points. Even at the time, I was suspicious about the loyalty point system. Luckily, I didn't really know how to use it properly, so I avoid getting banned. One of the most notorious incidents happened in 2020. A major glitch in the recycling allowed players to earn over 3,000 loyalty points in a single season. According to HH content creator Tiggy, the exploit spread throughout the community insanely. The glitch allowed players to recycle items and receive massive amount of loyalty points as a reward. Although the developers quickly reacted and disabled the features within 15 to 45 minutes, the damage had already been done. Asulika OY, the owner of Hotel Highway, was upset that the players took advantage of the bug. However, some players didn't even know about the glitch and still ended up using it unintentionally. Despite this, Sulika decided to ban hundreds of players without warning. This is when the checkout movement slowly began to form in the eyes of the community. Many players blamed Hoto Highway for allowing the bugs to exist in the first place. They believe that Sulika should take full accountability rather than banning players for something caused by the game itself. According to Araku, who was a part of the checkout movement, several questions were raised about the action taken by Hoto Highway. Here is her response. A potential reasoning listed is use cheating, hacking, etc. Now where do the terms and servers say accounts can be fairly banned, even temporary, because of a glitch? Also, if the third reason listed for banning is racist, sexist, or otherwise offensive information, why is Sulika not taking direct actions against every racist, sexist, etc. rooms? The staff obviously has the time and resources to ban a large amount of player base for a glitch most didn't even know exist. Where is this energy when it comes to the lack of banning offensive rooms, bios, and chat? So far, this is one of the most intelligent response against Hoto Highway, but let's move forward. This is absolutely shit. We deserve to be provided a valid reason if when we are banned. According to the reason in your terms that a player can be banned, none of the recent bans were valid. Do better. Stop treating your customers like trash, or we will stop playing /payment. Now move on to Rain. Before I start, I want to mention that we're only going to focus on a few posts of her. You can tell she's clearly upset. There are some grammar mistakes and a lot of information, but I'm going to highlight a few of her key points. Let's take a look at the screenshot. You ban players that exploit the glitches in your game, but you don't ban the people that uses racial slurs, pedophiles, and those that uses sexism towards other players. Another screenshot from Rain. You didn't ban anyone for exploiting the loyalty point system. People get mass amounts on items and currency. Why is that? But yet you ban people for collecting daily gifts. Some probably did not notice due to the number of trails of style rewards. The last screenshot from Rain. Banning those that uses it and even those that didn't is so wrong and honestly disgusting. Taking away the currency and items is an impossible task to do, because what if most of the stuff was already earned and didn't come from this exploit? Question mark. Now, on the last screenshot, I'm going to read something that's really hold a lot of truth. This post was created by Sniffles. Let's take a look. Now, for a more serious note, HH is a community where players can be themselves. It's a place where they feel welcome. It's a place where these players who are suffering from bullying, depression, loneliness, etc. It's honestly just a place where you can escape the real world for a short amount of time. HH seems to not know how much this game helps real people. They have now taken that away from these players. As you guys can see from these screenshots, many community members were deeply unhappy with the banning of players. A large number of these users began to boycott Hotel Highway. Expression of frustration, angry, and exhausted with how this game has been managed. Players felt that the developers were not taking meaningful actions to address the going on issue with trolling within the community, and even predatory content seems to persist without serious consequences. However, Hotel Highway respond immediately. The developers, like I said before, quickly banned the accounts, taking swift and decisive action. This created a strong sense of hypocrite among players. Many questions why the same urgency was not applied to dealing with trolls and harmful individuals who had been negatively impacting the community for a long time. What made the situation even worse was the financial loss experienced by banning players. Hundreds of users, even though the return back in HH, they lost purchases from using real money to buy diamonds and coins. For many, this wasn't just about losing progress in the game. Even though Hotel Highway unbanned them, it was about losing something that they have invested time, effort, and actual money. This left players feeling unfairly treated. This situation marks the end of their journey with Hotel Highway, especially amongst players on the English servers. Many began to distance themselves from the game entirely, deciding it was no longer worth of their time or trust. Instead, they started to look for alternative games where they felt their concerns would be taken more seriously. I remember a time when players encouraged other players to stop playing Hotel Highway altogether. There were conversations happening across the community where users urged each other to move on and try different games. Some recommend MOO, while some players suggested moving to other games like Call of Duty and even Butterfly Capes as a better alternative. Hotel Highway finally responded on June 29, 2020. Hotel Highway spoke out, stating a major error occurred with our loyalty point system. On the evening on Monday, 2020, we switched the system off as soon as we noticed the error, but a small but significant numbers of guests were accidentally given a large amount of loyalty points, which were then redeemed. The loyalty points will be switched off until further notice. Then on June 30th, 2020, Hotel Highway made another post that officially brought the loyalty points situation to end. As 2020 came to a close, the rise of Zero, who has been active since 2019, was also coming to an end. I have also had trolls, and even formal trolls, reach out to me asking to be included in part 2A and part 2B of this series. I heard you, but if you really want to be part of those videos, you need to bring real evidence, screenshots, messages, anything that helps tell the full story. I want this to be honest.